Even in 2024, Apple still needs to catch up. There's still no T9 dialing. You can't rename any photos or videos. You can't organize your home screen the way you want. And a lot more. If you've ever used an Android, these small issues can annoy anyone. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Just a small reminder, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel grow. Without any further delay, let's dive in. First, the iPhone is still lacking in the phone app. Let me show you. When there are two numbers in a contact, it does not show which number is set to as the default one. When you call one number for the first time, that number becomes the default one. iOS doesn't indicate this anywhere either. Now, do you know how to change that default number? Long press on the call button within the contact, and when you select the number that you want to set as default, it will first call that number. Once you cut the call, then it will be set as the default number. And there's no indication that it's been set to default.
Oh, come on!
Whereas on an Android, it's so simple. Just go into the contact that you want and it gives you a section on top where you can set the default calling number. Wasn't that easy? Come on, Apple. It gets even worse. iOS still doesn't have any T9 dialing. Let me show you what I mean. In an Android, when you type the numbers that contain the letters of the contact that you want, for example, if I want to call Varun and I type VAR, it'll give me a list of all the contacts that have these three letters like VAR or VAS. So it becomes very easy for you to find the contact and quickly call it. Whereas on the iPhone, I can't do any of that. Why are the letters even mentioned on the keypad if I can't T9 dial? There's no way to get this feature. If I type VAR in spotlights, it just gives me very limited options. Using Siri is also not the same. Unfortunately, Siri with Indian names and the Indian accent is not very accurate. I have a friend with the name Ashray, and if I tell Siri to call Ashray, it says I can't seem to find Ashray. So the next time when I want to call Ashray, I have to remember to tell Siri that call Ashray. Then only it works, which is just nuts. Second, you can't set auto brightness on an iPhone to auto easily. Let me show you. On an Android, you just have to swipe down from your notification center, tap on the three dots. There you'll be able to see you have adaptive brightness. You can toggle this on or off. Whereas on the iPhone, you have to literally jump through hoops to get the same task done. Have a look at this. If you swipe down the control center, you can see that there is no auto brightness button. To do the same thing on an iPhone, you have to go into settings, accessibility, display and text size, scroll down, and here you'll be able to see there's a button auto brightness. Wasn't that easy?
Sure.
Next, you can't pause during a video recording. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you're recording a clip and you have to pause to take a break or change focal point. You can't do that. On an Android, you have the feature to pause in between a video recording, which just makes things easier. This is such a basic feature and Android had it for years. Next, when you start recording a video with your main camera, there's absolutely no way for you to flip the camera during the video recording. Let me show you. So before I start video recording, it gives me an option over here where I can flip the camera. But once I start the video recording, it just gives me an option to click an image. It does not give me an option to flip the camera. Whereas on an Android, while I'm shooting the video, I can flip the camera back and forth, which is so convenient. If you're a vlogger or if you just want to be part of that video, iPhone doesn't make it easy for you. iPhone users, let me know in the comments down below, do you just keep flipping the phone to include yourself in the video? Or what exactly do you do? Next, and this is a big one, why can't I rename my photos or videos? Have a look. There's absolutely no option for me to rename my photo or video. I'm talking about in the Photos app, not by going into save to files and then renaming it, because that just defeats the purpose. The reason why this is so important is because when you plug in your iPhone to your Windows laptop, it'll show you a list of images and all the images will have a similar name like img_5220. But if you have the option to rename the image, it becomes very easy for you to find it in a folder filled with photos or videos. Whereas on an Android, I can just click on edit and rename the photo to whatever I want. Before you jump on my case and tell me to just use AirDrop, let me tell you that the majority out there are still on Windows. And using AirDrop is out of the question. Yes, there are third-party apps that can solve this, but wouldn't it be easier if it was just inbuilt like on the Android? Next, customizing your home screen on the iPhone the way you want it is virtually impossible. Take a look. You can't place an app at the bottom of the screen or wherever you want. You can't do the same with a widget as well. If I want to place my widget at the bottom right of the screen, it does not allow me. On an Android, it's completely opposite. You can place an app anywhere you want. You can even place a widget wherever you want. And this gives you god-tier level of customization. Sure, there are certain blank space apps that you can use to achieve this. but the majority of you won't do that. Most of the iPhones are all going to look same, but if you have an Android, you can customize your home screen to make it stand out. Next, typing on the iPhone has its issues. Placing the cursor where you want is a nightmare. Have a look at what I mean. When you type a word and if you want to replace a character, just tapping near that character won't work. So for example, I wanted to say this is a test note, but it says text. If I want to just replace X, just tapping near X won't work. It won't go there. You have to tap and hold and a magnifier will pop up. Then you drag your finger next to X, put the backspace and change it. That's how you do it on an iPhone. Whereas on an Android, just tap near the character and your cursor will be ready for you to make any changes. If I tap twice near the word that I want to edit, it brings up this cursor and you can then place it by moving it. And it's also pretty accurate. See, I tapped over there, it went right after X. So now I can delete it and change it. It's time you take some notes, Apple. Coming to the last point, and this is by far the most important in my opinion. There's still no call recording for the iPhone. I'm from India and in India we're allowed to record calls. Androids have call recording inbuilt in all of them and this is such a handy feature and I really miss it. When I was on Android, it was so convenient to just go back and listen to your conversation as each and every conversation is recorded. During the conversation, if you forget some details like a name or number, it was so easy to just go back and listen to your recording. But on the iPhone, there's absolutely no way for you to make this possible. There are a lot of third-party apps on the App Store, but none of them work well. Trust me, I've tried them all. iPhone users, if you have a solution to this problem, please let me know in the comments below. I'm not saying that the iPhone is bad and you shouldn't buy it. Both Android and iPhone have their positives and their negatives. But if you're contemplating on shifting to an iPhone from an Android, then do keep the points that I've mentioned in mind. I hope you found this video helpful. If you've watched so far, means that you really like my video. So please go ahead and hit that like button and also subscribe. It'll really help me a lot. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.